Welcome everybody to this episode of FoxData's webinar. Today, we'd like to talk about summer seasonality for iOS. As we fast approach the summer months, it's crucial to understand how seasonality impacts app performances and how we can optimize for a better presence during the seasons. Today, we have invited also our agency partner, Julie Tonna. Hello, Julie.
Thanks for having me. Really nice to be here.
To introduce, Julie is the founder of NeoAd. She's also a seasoned expert in user acquisition, ASO, and ASA, with over 7 years of experience in mobile advertising, including previously working in Apple Ads. It's so great to have you today, Julie.
Really appreciate the opportunity to share some insights about the seasonality. All right, all good? Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, cool. So the idea would be just to explain at first, like, why are we focusing on summer seasonality and how to see if your app is eligible and if there's like any changes for your app category. And then I'll show some examples of like what others are doing, like bigger or smaller apps, but just to get some inspirations. And then we'll see how to use Fox data to look into it and maybe check what your competitors are doing and if you can get again inspired by them. So let's jump into it. So over 50% of apps are influenced by seasonality, especially in the summer. So, kids are out of school and then people goes on holiday. So there's a lot of things that can happen in real life that actually affects the app store and how people are searching for apps and how they're using apps as services or to buy products, etc. So the idea here is to make the most out of this season and just prepare and react in order to align your App Store optimization and strategy and your Apple ads as well. So how to know if your app is affected? So there's different areas to check. So you have search trends. So there could be spikes in seasonal search queries, such as summer workouts, if you have a fitness app, or vacation planner, if it's more travel app. And then some category insights as well. So identify trends within your category using either the App Store Analytics or external tools like FoxData. You can check also historical data. So looking at your performance last year, so last summer, how did downloads change throughout the summer? Or what about the LTV? Did you get more in-app purchases? So all those little signals can help you understand and plan for this summer strategy. And then finally, also in-app behavior. So looking at how users are using different features within the app that can change during summer. So maybe daily active users or retention and those kind of metrics that you can look at and see if they change during the summer month. So from June to like end of August, I'd say.
I see. Just on that historical data part, so I'm just wondering if you could elaborate on the type of metrics in detail to look out for and how do you generally evaluate them?
Of course. So it would be any metrics that might change during the summer, so or even throughout the year actually. So I'm thinking, it could be downloads, but it can also be app open. It can be tap through rate on your ads, or it could be conversion rates on your App Store page. It can be ROAS, obviously, and in-app purchases. So maybe there's some features that are being used most. So you see more people doing a like monthly subscription, let's say, throughout the summer, just because they really want to use that feature only for a couple of months, so they just subscribe. So that's kind of those kind of things you can check, and the time frame obviously is quite important. Look at the past summers, look at different geos, because in the US you might see a bigger change versus If you look at Japan, let's say, or if you look at another like Australia, which has different, summertime. So that's completely depending on like geographical, but also like t time-wise, in terms of like summer period and vacations.
I say that that's a whole lot of signal to look out for. Thanks for that.
Exactly,
Thanks
yeah.
for answering that.
All right, cool. So in terms of timeline, so maybe you're wondering when to start preparing. And that's why I prepared this little timeline. So it goes from May to October. So in May, I mean, it's not too late. You can start in June, obviously, but in May you can check, what we just said. So historical data, review metrics from past year, and you can also start planning with other teams to produce new assets, like screenshots and in-app events and like things you want to highlight during the season. Towards more like June, that's time to really get into it and get ready. So you can use product page optimization on the App Store to A/B test different product pages and see what resonates the most with the users. You can also finalize your in-app events, gather all the assets, all the everything that you might need to launch this event. And also you can start building and localize custom product pages. This would be needed more for Apple ads, but actually with the new App Store update coming in this fall, you'll be able to use custom product pages for your App Store page. So that's something to also think about ahead. And then coming around June, July, and August, that's time to go live and to launch the plan, test different creatives, and maybe schedule any refreshes you want to do throughout the summer. And then finally, end of the summer, and then it's time to analyze the performance, to do review, compile all the insights and learnings, and maybe make a little playbook for next year. So you're even more prepared next time you have to plan and do a summer seasonal strategy. Is it all clear?
Yeah, great, awesome. I love the systematic and very analytical approach that you've taken towards the whole seasonal planning. I'm wondering also, does this particular approach apply to other season of the year?
That's a great question, actually. Yeah, because October is the end of summer, but that's when you start preparing for Christmas. So, this kind of like process applies for the end of the year as well, because you got Black Friday in November, and then you got Christmas vacations in December, and then New Year's Eve, and then the Chinese New Year. So you basically think about all these steps and do the same, but from a like colder time of the year.
Awesome, great. So you can basically apply this process throughout the year.
Pretty much just adapt like obviously creatives and like in-app events and yeah, all that.
Awesome. I just have one more question since you
Of
mentioned
course.
the latest update on CPP by App Store and also um, like how important to localize and build your CPP. So what's your actual advice and what's your approach on creating those summer theme CPPs?
Right. So I think it's for CPPs in general, but for this, my approach for custom product page in general is just to identify keyword themes and different themes within your app. So let's say you have a travel app and you do flights and also you sell hotel rooms and then you do car rentals. Then custom product pages will allow you to get creatives that will adapt to each and align to each of those themes. So hotel creatives, if your user is looking for hotel to book hotel, and then flights and airplanes for flights, and then cars obviously for cars. So that's the idea. And then in order to adapt them for summer, it's just adding, and also in the examples I showed just after that, it's adding little themes and little elements that align with the season. So, more summery vibes, more like sunshine and less, snow and cold, basically. So
Great, great.
actually I can jump in. Yeah, I can jump into the examples, so maybe it makes more sense.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for that.
All right. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions on those. But basically, I gathered few examples that I thought were well done. So we got some app store optimization examples with like screenshots here. On the left, you have Hinge, which is a dating app, and you can see how it's really summer dating here. There's like a two people getting some like fresh drinks in the sun with like shorts and sunglasses. So really aligned with the season. So users can maybe see themselves in this situation. So Hinge is, selling this dating app so people just meet other people and then they can picture themselves being on a date outside and like enjoying the summertime. And then on your right, you have Pinterest. So Pinterest is more like social inspiration, social app. And you can see if you really squint and look at the search bar within a screenshot, it's written hot weather here. So it's really they changed their screenshots so people actually get some inspirations on what to look for on Pinterest and how to use the app. So, inspiration for hot weather hair or like for summery dress and this kind of things that you can look into and discover within Pinterest. So that's in terms of screenshots, but you can also have, obviously, in-app events is probably the most widely used feature on the App Store coming to the seasonal events. So here it's PixArt, which is the AI photo and video app. And then they have this in-app event called Make Viral Summer Edits. And you can see how the images really reflect the summer, like eating a watermelon, doing paddle boarding and using, filters available within the app to enhance your photos and just post them on social media. So it's once again highlighting the features that you might want to use this summer with like pretty like relevant images and things like that. And then you have other examples. I try to gather different categories just to highlight how every categories might be affected by the summer season. So again, you've got photo and video with like sun-kissed glow on your left with the Facetune example. And it's just a filter that you can use so you can look tan, which is quite interesting. And then in the middle, you got Lily's Garden, which is a merge game, basically. And then they have this Rock the Festival season event. So once again, aligned with the summer. And then finally, Booking.com, which is a travel website. And that is showing, how you can get flight price alerts and get some pretty good deals if you're a member as well, if you're looking to like escape this summer and book a flight. So those are like different examples of like ASO aligned summer summer examples basically. And here it's like more Apple ads, so a mix of like Apple ads and ASO. So Apple ads allow you to advertise on the App Store basically. And Starbucks here, which is obviously part of food and drink category, what they did is running on the Today tab. So it's more brand awareness placement. So basically, if you're at the airport and I don't know, you're a bit bored and then you open the App Store because you're looking for a game or something to do, you see Starbucks and then you're thinking, oh, maybe I should get a drink. And then if you look for Starbucks on the App Store, then they're also running on their own brand terms and they use CPPs to highlight like summer drinks. So this like strawberry, really ice refreshing drink that they show on their custom product page. showing that it's free if you have the rewards membership, or if you're part of the of this membership program. So that's quite smart, I believe, because yeah, if you're thinking of getting a drink, then it's like, oh, it's free. I can get like a free icy drink. Let's do it. So yeah, you can think of like examples like that and just apply it to your strategy. Another one is Expedia. I think Expedia was really smart again because they run on the search tab. So if you're looking for an app, actually Expedia will appear right before you start searching. So this is the placement you see on the left. And then they're also running ASO in-app event to promote their family getaway event. So showing a picture of little kids on holidays. So, families can imagine themselves doing that as well and booking their trip through Expedia to get like different deals for like their family. And yeah, it's pretty interesting to see their approach, how like each travel app is trying to target a different audience. Like here it's more family, but booking was more like flights. And yeah, it's a different strategy for each, but I think it works quite well. And then I got a final example of Uber using custom product page. Basically, they're running on the Go Airport Shuttle keyword and all like airport related keyword. So if you arrive at the airport and you're thinking, oh, I need to get into town, is there a shuttle or something? Well, they're running a custom product page for that, and it's like front and center, like big plane, big airport, like text. And you can see how you can also reserve your ride in advance. So pretty smart from them. I think they have a really good CPP strategy. And yeah, actually you can use FoxData to discover the strategy if you like curious and want to check out a bit more about it.
Great, great, thanks. I can see as truly a lot of inspiration and different strategy you can play around with your CPP and IAE for this season. So since you mentioned Fox Data, could we see how you actually apply those analytical platform like Fox Data to conduct your competitive research?
Yeah, of course. Actually, it helped me a lot doing this whole analysis. So I'm happy to share it because I think the platform is really well made. So let me show you how I used it. Can you see my screen okay?
Yeah, that works.
All right, perfect. So here I'm in the I just entered the dashboard. So what I do is I just look for like whatever apps I'm thinking of. So well, here you have the examples that I use. So I have Kayak here, and obviously you can choose the geo. So you got the US. So I look for Kayak, and then yeah, I can see basically the App Store profile. I can pick like once again like iOS, but also Android, and then different geos. And here I want to check, maybe their CPP strategy. So here I can, on the left, you can see advertising and you can click on the CPP. And here we go. You can choose the time frame. So last 7 days, 30 or 90. I like to look at bigger time frames just because I'm a bit noisy. So I like to check what they've been doing for a while. But yeah, you can see, so their screenshot is their default screenshot. So, okay, cool. That's what appears like by default. But then you can see like different CPPs they're using. So let's say if I scroll down here, I see one with like get discounted rooms and search for millions of stays with a little bed. So oh, that's why they're using that for. And then I can see the CPP keywords they're running on. And it's pretty much for like hotel and Airbnb. So basically, when a user is typing any of those keywords, they will see this custom product page highlighting their book hotel feature. And then okay, what's next? So their next CVP is more like highlighting the cars and like how you can like rent a car on Kayak as well. So yeah, if you look at the keywords, yeah, it's related to cars. So that's one way that I use Fox data to see what is pretty much the custom product page strategy for for like competitors or any category that I'm interested into. And then, yeah, I think the second examples I wanted to show you, it's here. So it's Canva. It's more about in-app events because here I talked about, ASO and Apple Ads. So this part is more about Apple Ads. Well, it was about Apple Ads, now it's about in-app events. So here, if I look at Canva, I can see their ASO page. So all the screenshots and like the downloads, revenue, everything. And then here you have a little tab where I can see the in-app events that they currently live. Um, all right, so the second example, actually, I was thinking showing Airbnb. So here, you can see, well, your app store, like all the app profiles. So, downloads and description, ratings, anything you might need. But what's interesting for us here is the in-app events. So you can click on the little tab and then see the in-app events that either were running or are currently live. And so here you can see that recently Airbnb was having this in-app events because they just launched a new feature of like booking experiences and services in the app. And I believe they did that just before the summer. So, people knew that they could use Airbnb to also book like different kind of experience while on holidays. So super cool feature. You can see like the creative that they're using and like the approach they have. So yeah, that's kind of how I used Fox data in that summer seasonality preparation. Obviously, there's so much more that you can do with it, but I'll let you explore on your own. And I guess if you have any question, you can also ask your rep at Fox data and they will have all the answers.